Mary Trent, Mary Trent, Mary Trent.
Okay, tonight we're going to talk about Google Docs, and we're going to talk about Google Drive and sharing, and whether you use Google Docs for presentation or slideshow. They all sort of work together. So we're going to review how to share documents, whatever it is. We're going to kind of get into each of them, and so you can kind of dip your toe into how to create a Google Doc, a Google presentation, and a Google Spreadsheet. Okay? This, what you're looking at right now, is an example of Google Spreadsheet. This is how I've always kept attendance. And one of the benefits about why I do it here and not on Excel, can you think of some? I can do it at home. I can do it anywhere I have internet access. I can do it on my phone. If I'm at a center that I don't have a computer, my iPad, wherever I'm at, because it's online. If I did it with Excel, I'd have to save it on a flash drive. Always plug it in, update it. Also, I share this with Nancy. So whenever she does sessions, she can also keep track of attendance here as well. Couldn't do that with Excel. So we'd have to, again, share that flash drive back and forth or something. So the benefits of using, putting documents here, whether it's spreadsheets, presentations, or documents, is that you can collaborate with people and share them. And plus, they're easily accessible because they're online. Also, I can share this if I wanted to with somebody outside of our school that doesn't even have a Google account. Okay, so we'll get into all that kind of shared stuff here in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go back to my, and we're just going to go right to Google. Is this where you all are at? Still welcoming? Okay, so I'm going to go back to search here. Okay, is this what your screen looks like?
That's what mine is.
Okay. As you can see at the top, I'm just going to talk a little bit about some navigation, and then we'll kind of go into more stuff.
We need to log in though first, don't you?
Yeah, how about I
You could do that, then you wouldn't have to wait.
Oh, I've got MJH guide.
Yeah, if it's not gonna be very quick, then you could just be ready.
How do I
Good thought, Penny.
What is it? Students
Out.
dot
of one?
Maybe my last thought of the day, right?
Administrative decision.
Yeah.
out?
See what's sitting and doing?
That's Mary Ann's spot, by the way. I don't know that one, but that she always sits there. And then if she doesn't like what I have to say, she tells me she's going to retire.
Oh, well, we all say that.
She's retired on me like 4 times this school year already. I can see her though.
I know, she's there on the other user.
This slash, it'll type user, last ER, and just enter button. Oh, then you're going on. All right, we're using Chrome. Okay, and then just log into Google. Oh, thank you. Perfect. Okay, so I want to talk about a few things on the screen here, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm zoomed in well on the camera too, so that they can see it as well. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more.
Sign. Is this?
Oh,
That's
students.
students.
There you go. Students.kemper.org. You're in already. Oh, no, you're not.
Should I go new tab, Mary, or because I'm in Debbie
Put all my screens in here
Yep.
to very Google
And
Drive
then say add.
so that I can do it at home and do it here. You did what? I put all my grades in here. So I made this my grade bar.
Oh. In Google?
Yeah, so I have all of, so like here's my spelling, readings, grammar, and that way I can enter grades at home.
Yeah.
And here in the school.
Yeah.
Do they average it?
I put the formula in to average it for me. And then I could sort it, so I
Well, those
could
guys
sort
are
all
kind of
by.
getting logged in there.
I did my reading.
At the top of your screen,
Sort
up
of
the top of the
one
screen
by
here, you'll see that there are, the first one, mine says plus Mary, and hit not to, skip to log into, or that's fine here. We'll just make sure if you log into Chrome, we'll log you out. Yours probably says plus you. Does it say plus you in the very first one? And that is Google Plus, okay? And Google Plus is sort of a combination of Facebook and, it's kind of like a social network type of thing. You have to be part of Google Plus in order to do Google Hangouts. Have you heard of Google Hangouts before? Okay, Google Hangouts are a way for you to host a webinar or a web video conferencing. It's like Skype. You can have up to 9 people join a Google Hangout. I'm not a big fan yet of Google Plus. You have friends and you put them in circles, and then you have circles upon circles, and it's kind of, and they suggest things to you that you might be interested in. I don't really care for that either. I find more of my time cleaning up stuff rather than just having the stuff I wanted. So I'm not a big fan of the Google Plus part of it, but I have done some Google Hangouts before, and those are pretty cool and really easy to use. And you just set up a Hangout, you send an invite out to the folks you want to invite, and again, they have to be part of your circle. And then they join you, again, up to 9 people can do it. And I know Diane Beatty was here on Tuesday, and she had tried it with her kids a couple times, and we went through a couple things with her. She went home and was able to get it to go again this time, so that was nice, because she said she was watching her son cook in his kitchen while she's here. So it was kind of neat. So again, it's sort of like Skype, but just a little bit different. So that says plus you. The next is search, and that's where we're at right now, which is what we're used to seeing. One thing I always want to point out too, this box right here, that's your search box. That's when you don't know the website you're going to. If you know the actual web address you're going to, you want to put it up here. The thing about Chrome that I like the best is this box up here is called the Omni box. And you can type in to search, you can type in a website, whatever. It takes you wherever you want to go. I like that because I think it's always been confusing for folks, you know, which box do I type in? Many times I see a lot of teachers type in a web address in that Google search box, and that's not necessary. Because if they know the website, if they type it at the top, it goes right to that website versus go into a Google search and then you have to click it and then you go to the website. Okay, so that's kind of the difference between those boxes. Nancy is also doing, tonight I think it is, tonight or it's coming up, I'm missing all my day lessons, but she's doing one more on specific searches and stuff. She kind of went into every Appetite Tuesday with some tips for that. She's going to go into more detail with that in the next mini lesson coming up. That'll be recorded also and put up. So those are really powerful things too that she'll show you. Next is images, and again, you know, you got to be careful. A couple things. These are not copyright free, first of all. You must cite them. And you cannot have kids just cite Google Images as the citation. Also, remember, just putting the URL down of the picture you're copying is not okay. I sent resources out with you early in the year, and I'll probably send them out again, about how it breaks MLA formatting all the way down to the lower grades, thanks to Spicer and stuff. Helped us out, gave us some tools like Noodle Tools, Express, and I'm happy to report that my first tech lesson turned in, they used Noodle Tools in math to cite their sources, so it's great. Noodle Tools Express and Purdue are two great resources for how to cite correctly. And if you want, I can send that resource out to you again too for the lower grades, how to do that. But also with images, sometimes what you search for is not G-rated or even PG. Some it's even more so. So things get through the filter, so be careful, especially for the younger kids and whatnot too, or even for the, I guess any kids. You know, just to send them out on Google to search for things, I think is always a little dangerous. You might want to suggest sites for them, or suggest certain terms to put in the searches for them, so they're not getting the things that they don't want to see. You know, one year we got into Santa's Little Helpers, and it wasn't a bunch of elves, if you can imagine. Google Drive. Now, this used to be called Docs. Okay, that's where all of your documents are. Is in Google Drive. Okay, we'll go that in a minute. Calendar is my best friend. I use this religiously for home and at work, and I have it set up that I share it with my husband, and you know, if you can actually get your husband to look at it, he also knows what's going on, and he doesn't have to ask you many times what's going on that night. So he's getting better at that. But it sends me a text message on my phone 15 minutes before I'm supposed to be somewhere, which I love, because that's gotten me saved so many times I hate to even mention. So I use that a lot. I also save, like when I put in mini lessons and schedule in the calendar, I share that or invite Nancy to that session and puts it in her calendar too. So it works lots of different ways that I use it quite often. And of course, we use it to check out mobile labs and things. And you guys use it at Play Spirit for the computer lab too, right? Yeah. Okay. Google Sites. That is for website creation. We also are going to be doing a mini lesson and study group on Google Sites. So that's also another option for creating a website, classroom website for yourself, or having your students create websites also. Google Groups. That is a feature where you can create groups and you can post things. It works similar to like a website, if you will. You can have some discussions in there as well. I haven't used groups for quite a while. I did a couple of years ago, and it worked out okay, but I haven't gone back to it, so that kind of tells me I found other resources I think that work a little bit better for that. Maps I use all the time as well. When I'm going someplace, prints out the map, tells you how far. There's a new feature in there now too. There's this little guy that stands, he's yellow, and you can drag him to the map wherever you're at, and you see the street from a person's level. Which is so cool, because I am the type of person like turn at Casey's instead of turn at Fifth Street. So it works great for that. So you can just drag him into the map, like I said, and then you can turn him around, and you see what's all around you. So you can turn at specific sites, landmarks, which that's how I travel. I'm more of a landmark person. So that I like too. And YouTube, constantly on here. Now, if you notice that Google and YouTube, they're all part of each other. Okay, so Chrome, Google, YouTube, all of those guys get along really, really, really well. They're all part of the same family. So anytime you want to do stuff in there, whether it's googly stuff or if it's YouTubey stuff, you want to use Chrome. Okay? That's going to work best for anything you're going to do. Can you use other browsers with Google? Sure. But you're going to find, especially like in presentations, you run into roadblocks if you use Internet Explorer, for instance, or other browsers. It won't let you insert pictures, or it won't present for you, and it'll say a message, this browser is no longer compatible with Google, please choose a different browser. You'll see messages like that. So, safe side, use Chrome. And then, of course, there's underneath more, there are so much more things for you to do There's news, there's mobile, Google, how to get it on your phone stuff, there's Blogger, finances, and photos, and even more. So there's lots and lots of stuff there. These are the main things here. Tonight, though, we're going to focus mainly on Drive. Okay, so click on Drive, please. And yours probably looks a little different than mine. If you notice, though, I want to talk about the layout of this again a little bit. Over on the left-hand side here where it says Drive, and then we have that Create button. Okay, you see that Create button? Just click on that for a second. You'll see that there's a drop down there. This is where you create things, like a folder that you can share with people, so that whatever you put in that folder has the same sharing permissions for any document you put in there. So I can create a Google Doc. I don't have to click share or anything on the Google Doc. If I put it into a folder that I've already shared with people, it takes on those sharing parameters on any document you put in there. Document is just like a Word document. Presentation is like PowerPoint. Spreadsheet is like Excel. Next week I'm going to do a whole session just on forms because they're so powerful. You can send out surveys, give your kids quizzes. You can easily get that information back and check it so quick and easy. Forms are awesome. Drawing tools too. You can draw in Google too and insert those things. And then you notice that I have some other stuff on the side there. Do you see that? You probably don't have that, do you? Those are apps from the Chrome store, from the Chrome Web App Store. Okay? I have apps that I've installed on my Chrome, and apps from the Chrome store are like still web pages, but they're kind of synced or in conjunction with Google. And so they work better if you use them, with Chrome, excuse me. They work better with Google and Chrome. So they've plopped them into my Drive. So some of these here are, for instance, Mind Map is MindMeister. It's just an online brainstorming tool. Move note, presentation, I haven't used that yet. Pixlr is a way that I edit photos. And then there's just some more here too. How-to's is how to make online comic strips, all kinds of them. So, but for our purposes, we're gonna stick with just these main options
Were
here.
they free?
They are free. Yes. Okay. Notice right here, do you see this button right here when I mouse over it? What does it say? When you mouse over it, what does it say? Upload. So if I click that, then it has two options. I can upload files or folders. So what does that mean exactly? Well, let's say that and I do this quite often, I still like Word. I still like Excel because it has some features that Google doesn't. And so sometimes I'll create documents in Word, but then I'll upload them then to Google. So I have them mobilely. So I'm saving them up in the cloud, if you will. Remember, Google's this cloud. You always hear about the cloud. It's just online storage. Okay, so instead of saving it to my documents on my computer at the network here at school, now it's saving it in the cloud where I can access it from any device I have, anywhere, as long as I have internet access. Okay, and so one of the important things to do in your account, and I want you to do this with me, is over here on the right hand side there's this little gear. Do you see that? I want you to change something so it'll make your life easier, okay? There's a little caret that points down. If you click that caret and you go down to upload settings, notice that I have convert upload files to Google Doc format checked. Make sure that's checked. Click that so that's checked.
Is this gonna matter, because like I just went in to upload a file and I don't have any files because I didn't log into myself.
Right.
So will that,
What
we
you
can
change
still
on
do
your
this?
Google account stays.
Okay.
Yes, what you change here will stay where you go back to your classroom computer. Remember, this is all online, so whatever we change here is universal change. Okay? Now, what that does is that when I upload a Word document, if I don't have that checked, I can still upload the Word document, but it's read-only, which means I can't edit it. However, if I check that and I upload them and I convert them now to googly things, now I can edit them. Okay, so if I have a document, I'm like, oh, I misspelled this, or I want to add this, I still can. So I always encourage everybody to go ahead and have that checked. So that any time now when you upload a document, and I'm going to go ahead and do one, you can watch me, notice that I can upload also a whole folder of documents too. And it doesn't have to be all Word stuff either. I can have all kinds of different things in there that I can upload. But I'm going to go ahead and upload a file right now. Many of you aren't logged on as yourself, so you won't have a document. But I'm going to just go to my documents here and we'll just do our new parents, this folder, this document right here. So I'm just in my documents. This is my K drive, right? Because I'm logged in as me here. And I'm going to click, I selected document, and I'm going to click open. And that is uploading it to Google. And you see right here it says conversion is on. That tells me that I checked that. Okay? That tells me that whatever I'm going to upload is going to convert to a Google document of some sort. Spreadsheet, whatever. Okay? So that's real important. And you notice too that there's a W here. Okay? But when I go to my recent, it should show up in here as new parent form, and it'll change it to look like this. Okay, so let me get out of here. It should be up here. There it is. Do you see that? How it changed the icon in front of it to now a Google Doc. Before it was a W, which stood for Word.
Okay.
Okay, and if I had converted it, it would have stayed that W. That's another sign that tells you if you upload and you don't have that conversion on, you're going to see a W or a P or an X for Excel. But if you see it change the icon to the blue, the green, the orange squares here, the Google apps, then you know you have converted it. I can now go into that document and I can do any changes to it. Because notice my cursor is blinking in there, so now I can make any changes. To get back, this is something a little bit new with Google Docs too, to get back to my drive, that's changed recently. See this blue box here? When I move my mouse over it, now it says open a Google Drive. Otherwise it's a document icon, do you see that? But if I mouse over it now, I can go back to my drive. Okay, I can also just X out of it too, and it takes me back to my drive too. In fact, I got 2 drives open, so I am gonna do that. Now I'm back to my drive. Okay, so that's just these first 2 buttons here. Then underneath here, I'm gonna talk about those things. Any questions so far, the creator, the upload stuff? Yes?
Mary, when you convert from, you're doing this convert upload files to Google Docs format, let's say from a Word product, oftentimes Google Docs is not the best for alignment in a Word product, and it scrambles everything. So if I wanted to change it back to a Word product, because I want more of a scholarly product, can that be done without messing up the whole alignment?
You probably would not wanna convert it then.
I sure would.
You know, if you want to add stuff, what you want to do then, maybe what I would do, if you want to access it online in the cloud, I would convert it actually to Google Doc, add whatever I need to, try to not pay attention to the misalignment. And then I would, because you can also download that document to Word.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, so like if I want to download this back, I would make all the changes I want here. Don't worry about all the alignment, but I can go to File and download as, and I can put it right back down to Word. And now you can fix any alignments or whatever that were messed up. And my guess is, and you tell me, if you resaved it down, does it save the original alignment or is it still messed up?
When I resave it back to a Word, yeah, I would have to go in and fix it. It's messed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I do that because I'm talking about the students' research paper.
Yeah.
And that many of them are logged into Google Docs, and they have to do a download to convert it to Word so I can go in and access it and edit their scholarly research paper.
Right.
And that's why I was worried about if I convert it back to Google Docs so they can get into that, it throws everything off.
Yeah, and I think it probably will stay that way. I mean, I don't know, because if you leave it, if you don't convert it, then you can't edit it at all.
Right.
But if they were just turning it into you digitally, let's say they did it in Word and they want to just turn it into you via Google, they can keep it as the Word document and then you can just comment on the side.
Word for research paper. I've got so many mistakes.
You have a lot. And that's unfortunate because one of the new features for Google is not only can you put verbal comments, record them with a document and give them back to your students, but you can also highlight and leave type in comments too. So that's unfortunate that it does mess up that alignment for you. Maybe on reference. I don't know. We probably need the alignment there too, don't they? So those are just some of the things. I know you've had that issue before too. Okay. So underneath here, My Drive, again, that's where all your stuff is housed. It's how you can sort things. If I click My Drive here, it's going to come up with all of my folders first that I've created, and then my documents according to, I believe, number and alphabetized, okay? But if I can also then sort by, which I use often is recent, because then it has my most recent things I've done at the top. Shared with me, that's an important one too. This is, now when somebody shares a document with you, most likely it's going to show up under shared with me. Sometimes it just pops right into My Drive, okay? But if you can't find something that's shared with you, click under shared with me and you'll find documents that other people have created and they've shared with you. Okay? All right, so let's click create, everybody. And let's go to document. Create is on the top left-hand corner, red create, and then document.
Sarah, the kids are in the time, so I'll turn it, you don't see out there.
Anyone watching? Nope, that's not him. Okay.
All right. So under the document, then at the very top, you see right here it says untitled document. This is where you give it a name. So go ahead and click that where it says untitled document, and then go ahead and type in, I'm gonna type in test. It's under untitled document, top left-hand corner. I'm gonna say
Okay.
test for now, just for giggles, and click OK.
Can we use that too, or do you want?
Sure,
Okay.
you can.
Where are you at?
Up the top
Create.
left-hand corner,
Go to create, go to.
untitled, it should say untitled document. And now do you see it says test up the top left-hand corner? Yeah. Did you find it, Jody?
That's the other thing, that you gotta remember to X out down here.
X that down there, yep,
Yeah.
drive. And create document.
I have a question here. Why do all these show up?
And they're, but they're not, I never did them in, I never did them in Google Docs.
Click those two squares and then there's the trash can show it to you.
Okay, but then, that didn't delete it in my files, so someone else did it. Cause I downloaded those like meetings in here.
So click create, and then document. Okay, and then the top left-hand corner, Jody is where you rename it. Now, Google Docs, remember, they save
Wait.
every few seconds. So you don't have to click save, okay? They save automatically. So I'm actually going to rename mine again. I'm gonna put test and I'm gonna put Mary behind it, just for something different. You can go back in and rename stuff, just by clicking on it again. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put just hi there. Okay? All right, so I'm not done with this document, am I? I'm just getting started, okay? So, but I can already share it with somebody, even though I'm not done. Because whatever I do in this document and I share with them, they get it instantly. Okay? So it's great too because like this summer I had a presentation that I had to do. 2 o'clock in the morning I woke up, you know, I ever do that? I do that all the time. Like, oh, I forgot this. And so I had already shared the presentation out with my people that were gonna attend my class. But what's great is that at 2 o'clock in the morning I went in and edited the slide, and when they got there, I mean, as soon as I did that, they had it too. So I didn't have to worry that they already opened it or whatever, because whatever change I made was instant for them too. So let's go over here to the right-hand side where it says share. Okay, we're gonna spend some time on this share part of it. This is the nuts and bolts of Google. This is the important stuff here, okay? So under share, this first box comes up, and it talks, this is the sharing settings, and it says link to share, only accessible by collaborators. And see that, that's a blue link that's highlighted there, okay? If I right now copied that link and pasted it somewhere, someone could access this document if I chose them to, if I added them down below here. Okay, so we're gonna go through how you share stuff. Next you see that it says who has access, and it says private, only the people listed below can access. I'm the only person right now that can access this. But do you see that there's a blue change after that? Let's click that, please. Now we have options. Okay. And luckily Google has spelled each of these options out for you a bit. We just have to take the time to actually read them to figure it out. Okay? So the first one says public. So if I check that, it says anyone on the internet can find and access, no sign-in required. That's very public. Okay? They can do a Google search for test Mary, and they're going to find this document. Okay? Well, it's probably thousands. That's not a good option. I've never used that. Anyone with the link. This is the one I use most often. And I'll tell you why. I like this one because of what it says underneath. Anyone who has that link, so I get to choose who gets that link, right? I can send it to whoever I'm inviting them, can access it, no sign-in required. Meaning, I can share this document with people that don't even have a Google account. And they can go in and they can edit just like anybody else. This works great like for my family getting together for the holiday if I'm in charge of it. Some of my sisters have Google accounts, some don't. So I share it to everybody with this link so that anybody can access it, put in what they plan on bringing, and it works great. That's what you do, Connie, right, for your family thing. So that is really nice, and that way too, parents, if they don't have a Google account and you wanna share something with them, perfect to do it this way. Little kids that don't have their Google account activated, perfect. They can still do everything anybody else can, but they don't have to log in. You just have to give them the link. Okay?
And the link is just a URL address?
Yep, yep, and I'll give you an example of fourth grade, what they're gonna be doing, what they're doing, okay? The next one says, Pembroke Catholic School System. People at Pembroke Catholic School System can find and access. So if you're in our school system, you're logged into the adstudents.pembroke.org, and you type in test Mary, you can find it. Somebody outside of our school could not do that. So it kind of put a little bit of privacy to it. The next one says people at Pembroke Catholic System with the link. So now, this is only people in our system that have this link that I email can access it. I can't share this link out to my husband and he won't be able to access it because he's not part of the adstudents.pembroke.org account, okay? And then the last one's just private, where you have it so that it's private and only people you list can access it too, okay? Now, I want you to click that anyone with the link for a minute. And you notice that down here, then when you click that, this changed a bit. Because now we have even more access. Anyone with the link, no sign-in required, and then here it says access. Anyone with the link, no sign-in required, can right now what? Can view it. So they can only view it. But you see there's a caret there? I have more options. I can have them can edit, can comment, or can view it. And comments means that they can't change the original document, but there's comments on the side that they can put in. Okay? Can edit means they can delete the whole thing if they want. And can view means they can't do any editing, they can't do any commenting, they can just look at it. Okay? So let's just do, I'm going to do can view for right now, and I'm going to click save.
If they edit it, does it change yours?
If they edit it, does it change yours? What's the answer?
Yes.
Yes, because it's all the same document.
Okay.
It's collaborative, which is a little, I talk to kids about, okay, just because you can delete the whole thing doesn't mean you probably should. Okay, it happens. And 9 times out of 10, someone's going to type farted. They're just going to type whatever they can to get a laugh, and then once they get it out, they're done. Okay? So it's not perfect, but it's all part of that classroom management.
Did that?
Yes, you can. And it's always, I'll show you where that's at too. You can see who did it and when they did it. All right, so right now we have up here, anyone with the link can view. And you know what it does when we did that? It changed this URL up here. So when I copy that URL, it takes the permissions of this document with it, which is awesome. So if I changed it again, this link would change also. Now, I can also add people down here. Do you see where I clicked in this box down here? I can invite people. So I'm going to invite PS. All of it happens. Because I'm logged in their system, Penny Miller's email address comes up right there, and I can click it. Now I can share this with her. What can she do? She can edit. What can you guys do if I share this link with you? You can only view. Well, let me share a few more. Let me share a few more right down here. Let's do Ludwig. Go ahead and type some people in if you'd like. Oh, that's McKenna Ludwig. You gotta be careful because there's kids there too. Let's try Ludwig again. There's Jonah. So go ahead and
All the kids.
type some people in our class here.
And nobody ever goes away in our system.
No, they don't. They live on and on and on. Now, notice that I have some options here too, okay? Right now, I can have it so that all of you can edit, right? Well, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say can view for right now. And notice down below here, it says notify people via email, add a message. So I can, if I uncheck that, it doesn't send anybody an email, okay? If I leave that checked, it's going to send you an email saying, hey, somebody shared something with you. I can also, do you see where it says add a message? If I wanted to, I can type something in there that's gonna show up in their email message, like, hey, I shared something with you, fill this out. I'm gonna uncheck that for right now. And then I'm gonna click share and save, or share and save here. And I'm gonna click OK. It's just saying sure you wanna send this without sending an invite. Now notice, when I hit that, your names came up the top here. Do you see that? Look again, I can also be even pickier. I can say maybe you can edit and maybe, Marianne, I just want you to comment and, you know, Jody, you can edit too, I suppose. Okay, do you see how I can pick and choose individually? So if you create a document, you want to share it with your teachers who are editing it with you, but you also want to share it with students that you don't want them to edit, so you can pick and choose who can edit and who can't. Okay, now click share and save again, save changes. And then I'm going to click done. Okay? Now, what that did is I shared documents with you, right? Okay, so now how do I get back to Drive to see that document I shared with you? Top left, right. Okay, good. Let's click top left and go into Drive. And you should see a document. Maybe it'll show right up in your documents, or what's another place to look for that if I shared it with you?
Shared with me.
Shared with me. So click shared with me. Do you see a test Mary document in there?
Test Mary, test Penny.
Open it up.
Yeah.
Click on the test Mary one.
I didn't get a test Mary.
Oh, did I skip you? I skipped you.
Skipped me.
I'll be 11 in 2 seconds.
It's all good. Joey's living is editing mine.
Picture of there.
Mary dress, my
Are you CM, right? Here we go. Okay, you should have it shared with me now. Notice what's happening to the document. What do you see? What do you see at the top? Little squares. What's Jody doing?
She has changed
editing
everything.
it. Can all of you edit? Try.
Can we all edit?
Try. Who had just can view?
Must have been me.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
I can.
Did someone say can edit or can comment? Let's see that again. I have Marianne Spicer. You can comment. So do you see the top right hand corner where it says comments? Would you click that please and leave us a comment to show us that that can happen too? So do you see that there's different ways to share it? There's different ways to so that people can have different permissions and things. And now we can see the people that are in there. You see those colored boxes up there? Keep it clean, ladies.
We are. We're just
If-
being goofy.
If I
Picture
mouse
up there.
over it, it says their name because they're logged into Google. If they're not logged into Google, it'll say anonymous. It'll be like a dog or a bear or a rhinoceros, or they're animals at the top of those boxes.
But we get your picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now look at right here. This is something I think you should always share with your students. File and go down to revision history. Remember when you said, can we see who did what? Yeah.
I don't see what
File.
Oh, there it is. See revision.
And you know what? If you're only view only, you won't see that because you have to have it as be as edited. Yep,
Okay.
that's right. So look up here if you're only view only. But that revision history tells me when and who, and if I click on it,
Oh, I see.
it shows me what. So I would always show that to your students.
Yeah.
That, you know, even though you can and you really, really want to, maybe you shouldn't, because I can find out if you did it or not. And I can find out if you did it at 2 o'clock in the morning.
But if so if they don't have, it won't matter that they have an email account. How do you know that it's them logged in?
It depends on how you share it. If you do it like, if you share it with them where it's just private and they have to log into it. So if you kept that totally private and you say only share with these people, just put their email, they have to log in. third graders are not gonna log in. Now, what'd you say, what was your question, Diane? Like
How does it tie it to like a name?
That
Third
it won't, 'cause
graders
it's
can,
anonymous.
yeah, they can
You're right.
really write
That it
whatever they
won't.
want to.
The other
We'll
snuffy
tell
thing-
them anyway.
Right. The other thing too is that, look where it says right here, restore this for revision. That's a good and bad thing. Because if I click that right now, it's gonna go back to the original version, which means it's going to delete anything done after that.
Where
And
was
kids
that?
can- That's under file and revision history. If you're on the view only, you won't be able to see it. Okay? Which also is a stinker thing because they can wipe out other people's stuff too. Okay? So you want to make sure, like, if a kid makes a mistake and they, we've had that before where if you have kids in there and somebody lost everything, you can go back to a couple of versions and find it, and that's a saving grace. But sometimes too, kids can go in and be stinkers and we don't really tell them that part of the hog. That part, we'll let them figure that out on their own. But that's where you can see where people have done things. The comments, did you leave a comment for us?
I can comment. I click on comment and then all I get is notification and so forth and so on.
Okay, go ahead and hit return. Hit return at home. Click in the S box right there, and now hit return. Now we see your comment.
Okay.
Okay, now we see her comment there. So, do you notice too that there's group chat there too? That our students, this is a great feature as well, that they can chat while they're working on a document together as well. Again, good and bad. Okay, I've seen my daughter use this too at home when she's trying to do a presentation collaboratively. Of course, it goes to topics of Justin Bieber, obviously, because you can't have a conversation without bringing him up. But once they get back on topic, then they're talking about their presentation and that kind of thing. So that feature's there too. Google Docs too, like we talked about, doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Word stuff does either. It just doesn't. Let's go back to Drive, everybody. Back to Drive. Click Create. And click Presentation. Presentation is just like what? PowerPoint. Choose a simple theme, doesn't matter. Click OK. Click on anyone and just click OK. You can click this dismiss there if you have that showing up. Here's your first slide of your presentation. Okay? To add more slides, you go up to Slide, New Slide. Boom. It puts it in there. Not only that, but it keeps that format, that template. Slide, New Slide. You can keep going slide, new slide, and put as many slides as you want in. You see how they're popping up on the left? Did I lose you?
Slides go by.
Hit click dismiss. Slide, new slide. These presentations work the same way as that document did, guys. You can now have kids work collaboratively on presentations. Okay? Fourth grade, one of the things that they're doing, we don't want those kids to log in either. Those teachers are creating a template for them. It's a president's template. Let me just show you here. I have it, they shared it with me. Right here. They're creating this PowerPoint template. They did this Tuesday night. They're gonna have their kids each do a slide. Okay, this is the template they're working on. They're gonna have the kids fill in this slide, and then they're gonna, what I did for them is they shared the link with me. I put it on the Kemper website. So now the kids, when they get in the computer lab, they're gonna go to the Kemper website, click on that link, they're in their presentation, there's no login. They can go in, they can edit it, and fill out this information. They're gonna have a trivia question for the students, and because there's 3 or 4 classes, let's say Mrs. Willenberg's class then is gonna answer the trivia questions of Mrs. Bill's class. They're gonna answer them by using the comments. So it keeps the slideshow, but they can put that comments on the side and answer the question. Think about the level that is. I mean, this isn't a worksheet online that they're doing. This is a collaborative PowerPoint presentation they're doing, or presentation they're doing. Then after that, they're even going back in and manipulating and using. They have an audience for their presentation, don't they? So they're gonna try hard as well. And then they're gonna go in and actually use the presentation and answer questions with it. Pretty cool, huh? And no sign in. No sign in. So this is their project they're working on. So, as I said though, the presentations works just like PowerPoint. Basically that insert slide, you just click and start typing. The insert there, if you click insert, that's where you can put a picture in, image. You can put video right in here. YouTube videos embed lovely right here too. You can embed videos right in there too. You can, again, there are some transitions and things here. Do you see that? Transitions to what happens between slides. There's not a lot. There is no animation, which means you can't have a line at a time fly in. Doesn't have that. Okay? You can download Google presentations to PowerPoint and vice versa as well. I do that often. I'll create it in PowerPoint because again I like the features. And I'll upload it to presentation so I have it wherever I go. I do that sometimes, or I do it right in here too. I've gotten used to doing more in presentation lately. I do a lot of, different classes and things, or if I'm at a conference, I'll use the same presentation over and over. But I'm also smart. Networks go down, so I download it as a PowerPoint, save it on a flash drive. I have it on my desktop, my laptop, whatever I'm using, and I also have it on my iPad or whatever other device I have, so I have backup to backup to backup. So it works. So, again, the sharing features is identical to what we did in the documents. Identical. Okay? Any questions about the slideshow? Presentation. Same thing, give it a title up here. All of it's the same. Okay, let's click Drive again. And create one more time. And let's go to Spreadsheet. Spreadsheet, as we said, is just like Excel, right? Same thing. You can, like I talked to you about my attendance thing. Nancy and I both have, I share it with her, she can edit, I can edit, so if she's doing a training session across town and I'm doing one here, she can take attendance, I can take attendance, it's all right there. Okay? Same thing with Excel. I mean, it works very much like Excel. It doesn't have quite all the bells and whistles, but it does have, right here for instance, it will add up your columns and such. I keep track of my hours here. So at the end of the year, if I need to send it off to anybody who cares, I do. But it totals it up. So you can do simple stuff like this too. I like to use this a lot of times too, like if you need signups for, you guys do that a lot of times, you have guest speakers coming and it's gonna, who wants the times? Perfect, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, have people sign up that way. You could do a table in Docs, but this is so much better, it's already set up for you. You put the times, and the signups, and you share it with whoever, period 1, period 2, whatever. You get my drift of going across, and then they sign up for whatever time they want. That way, everybody sees what everybody else is doing too. There's no guess. Like, is this time slot available? There's no emailing back and forth 100 times of, oh, this time's available, but I wanted it. It's just there. Sharing is the same thing. Nothing changes. That sharing is the same for all of the things. That doesn't change. You notice the untitled spreadsheet, that's still the same. See that, how you give it a name? Any questions on those? Time to play, right? Give it a shot. Try to have create a document or a PowerPoint or presentation or a spreadsheet and just try to share it with somebody. Okay? We have just a few minutes left. I don't care what you share with somebody, but share something else with somebody too. Okay?
How come Christmas isn't on here?
Did you do it in your personal account?
When you log in your personal account, that's why it's not there.
If you want it in this account, you're going to want to share it with your kind of separate student.org account.
And then, like, if you go through and find all these, why did I have a whole bunch of them? It's just like really quite
that's the one thing I don't like about Google is the organization of documents too. You kinda have to go in and just click them and delete them.
I just don't know why all these are here.